Hey guys, welcome back. We have a midweek energy update to get into. This week we are closing out Aquarius season. We have come to the last couple of days of our new moon in Aquarius cycle. The new moon in Pisces is coming in on the 28th. That will be the topic of our next video. But for now, we are in balsamic moon phase energy as we close out this Aquarius cycle Wednesday and Thursday this week. The moon, of course, therefore, will be transiting through the sign of Aquarius on Wednesday, coming into a square with Uranus. There could be some shakeups, disturbances, things not exactly going as planned, maybe a desire to break free from something. There's definitely, I think, a bit of a rebellious attitude out there on Wednesday. And another thing to keep in mind, you guys, this entire week could be kind of frustrating, irritating, could feel like nothing is working, like everything is just blocking your ability to move forward somehow. Mars just stationed direct on Monday, and we have had Mercury and Saturn in a conjunction this week. So the Mars station energy is really like lighting our fire to get ahead, blast off. But in a trine to Mercury conjunct Saturn in Pisces, it could just feel like but we can't get the message through, like nothing is working, like we could just feel very stifled, limited, frustrated in our ability to actually like make the transaction happen or, get the idea across somehow. So if you're experiencing that, that would be very reflective of the energetic setup that we've got going on out there right now. So there's that. And all of that being said, you guys, let's get into our report because we've got a lot more to talk about. Look at how things are coming together for us as we do close out our Aquarius cycle and prepare to head into the new moon in Pisces, which is coming up next. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me until the end of this report, I have done a collective tarot reading for us today as well. I like to tap the energy field for more than one modality whenever I'm doing these energy overviews, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. We will do that at the end. We've got some astrology to talk about, so let's start there. As I mentioned in my intro, we are in this last couple days of this year's Aquarius season, balsamic moon energy, as the moon transits through the sign of Aquarius, enters the sign of Pisces actually tomorrow on Thursday, preparing to come into a conjunction with the sun, which will indicate and bring us our new moon in Pisces energy. Technically it's happening on the 28th, but it's happening on the 28th universal time at like 00 dot something minutes universal time. So it is also kind of technically happening on the 27th Eastern Standard Time. So the 27th really into the 28th will be our new moon in Pisces energy. The energy on Thursday is setting us up all day. We are moving towards that energy as the moon enters Pisces and prepares to conjoin the sun later that evening. And my next video out is going to be about the new moon in Pisces. Probably should have done it for this video, but when I was looking at the rundown of what was happening this week, it said it was on the 28th. I just didn't realize it meant like just barely on the 28th. So my apologies for perhaps a slightly delayed new moon video, but it'll be here and that's what's coming next. Until then, we are going to focus on this last couple of days of our Aquarius season. The moon, as I mentioned, will be transiting through Aquarius on Wednesday, and therefore will come into a square with Uranus, who is one of the rulers of Aquarius, in the sign of Taurus right now. We could get caught up again in maybe some of this like very like weird or unexpected or just like a bit wild stuff going on, like people's like erratic behavior and stuff, perhaps disruptions though, shakeups, maybe just things not going as expected, or also kind of a rebellious attitude I would expect or anticipate just generally on Wednesday, whether it's something that you are feeling within yourself or something that you're experiencing or encountering in terms of interactions with other people. People could be just like quite frustrated, honestly, at the inability for things to move forward or to get done for some reason and be ready to just like break things. So if you find yourself in that place emotionally, perhaps internally, as we move through the energy of Wednesday, it'll pass, it's just a vibe, and it's just like the last kind of hit of this Uranian energy in the square aspect before we like dive headfirst into Pisces season, which is coming up next. Obviously, this Pisces season, if you've been following along with the videos I've been saying, it's probably just going to be another strange one. Yes, the Uranian energy is like shock factor, electricity, unexpected this, wild, like what's going on? You know, it's this very like kind of chaotic, hard to call, shocking energy, and things can get weird. But this Pisces energy that we are moving into, I've also been like feeling that although it's not going to be so like high octave keyed up as the Uranian Aquarian energy was, I do think it's still going to honestly be just as strange, and I think it's going to be blurring the lines between what's real and what's not in some ways perhaps that we haven't experienced before or in a long time. So if you've already been kind of in that place, that is another thing that I just feel like is quite in alignment with the way these energetic configurations are coming together. And I think that that is going to be a continued like or sustained vibe or feeling or energy or situation or experience as we continue to move throughout the course of Pisces season. And this is not a video about Pisces season, so I'm going to do my best to not wade too far into that and like save a lot of that for the next video that's coming out. But what I mean to say is that things could just be kind of weird again on Wednesday when we've got this Uranian square coming in, and things could continue to be kind of weird moving into this next couple of weeks. So things being weird may not be that weird anymore, honestly. We may have like adapted to that on some level, which is good, because we are moving into a 20-year period of time right now that will be defined generationally by Pluto transiting the sign of Aquarius, which is kind of giving power to all the things that are weird and unusual and in alignment with that Aquarian energy. And of course, we are also transitioning into an age of Aquarius on the greater cosmic level right now, which is going to be just bringing in more of that energy and frequency over the course of this greater next 2,000 years. So if you find yourself becoming a bit desensitized to like strangeness and things that seem otherworldly, or just things that shock you in ways you never could have imagined, that is probably for some productive or beneficial reason pertaining to future trajectories that just perhaps we haven't arrived at yet. So anyways, there's that. Now we do have all planets direct right now. So again, like there could be this just urge or desire or like fervor, honestly, like passion, motivation to drive things forward, to move things forward, especially with Mars having just stationed. But this actually is going to be a bit short-lived. Venus is stationing retrograde, you guys, on March 2nd. And then on March, 15th, Mercury will station retrograde as well. So universe is kind of like, yes, you want to move forward. I see what you're doing there, but hold on, not so fast. We've got some more things that need to be revised, corrected, and this time it's going to have a lot to do with relationship and financial dynamics. This Venus retrograde, I think, could potentially bring a lot of like relational or financial transitions. And again, like that is coming up next. We'll be talking about that over this next couple of videos. However, while we do have now, as of Monday, Mars stationed direct, so all the planets are in a direct motion right now, Venus is about to turn right around and again, and she's in Aries too, which is ruled by Mars. So I just want you guys to understand that there could be kind of a frustrating energy that comes through over this next couple of weeks, especially in terms of what we're trying to grow, what we're trying to build, what we're trying to create, like businesses, finances, creative pursuits, security as well. Like there could just be like stagnation, or it's like no matter how hard we work or how much effort we put in, like things just aren't moving forward, and instead maybe it feels like things are like falling apart or taking a step backwards. And I want you guys to realize, okay, if that is something that you experience or encounter over this next couple of weeks, try not to attach to that, because a lot of this is going to have to do with Saturnian conjunctions in the sign of Pisces, in combination with this Venus and Aries moving backwards, backing into Pisces, while Mars is trying to go direct, coming back into the trine with Saturn in the sign of Pisces and Cancer. Like there's this probably like a very like strong internal urge, desire, motivation to move forward with something that is just being met with blocks, resistance, and it feels like, you know, we're taking, what is that saying, like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, or 3 steps forward and 1 step back. Like for every inch we gain, it might feel like we're being, you know, we're losing ground somehow. But again, this is a lot of Piscean energy with this Saturn conjunction situation that's coming up, and a lot of it is going to be honestly like the illusion of the incapability, like the illusion of the weakness, the illusion of the failure. It's not going to be the actual like whole story that's in the process of unfolding. So we really need to try, like, I feel like our spiritual test over this next couple of weeks with Saturn in the sign of Pisces, making the conjunction to, you know, Mercury this week, and the sun coming up here as well, and the new moon happening in the sign of Pisces, all this Pisces energy, is to not attach to the presentation of things that are like seemingly just immersing themselves in our reality right now. Like it may seem like nothing is going to work, like everything is falling apart, or like we just like can't get it together, like can't get things moving, like we can't do it. But really it has more to do, I think, with just the way that this energy is projecting experience back to us, and the narrow frequency band that the Saturn energy really like shows or demonstrates to us, and less about the whole spectrum, the whole overall picture, like what is the, like what is actually in the process of coming at the end of this road. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing the pieces in maybe a very limited capacity, and things are probably just going to be looking less, I don't know, doable than they actually are. So do not attach, you guys, do not attach to what seems to be happening or going on over this next couple of weeks, or rather what seems to not be happening or going on. Don't allow yourself to like internalize that as a reflection of where you're ultimately going. Okay, we need to have the aptitude to believe without seeing, I think, in the energy right now, and energy will shift. Okay, everything, you know, ebbs and flows. Right now we're in like the pullback, the tide is going out, it's like the in-breath, you know what I mean? We aren't seeing the results or the outcomes probably, or things are not going probably the way we would necessarily like them to, but it's peaks and valleys, and this may be what we're moving into. This energetic period generally may be more of a valley than a peak, but after every valley comes a peak. So if things are going down, they're going to go back up, and we just need to stay focused on where we're going. Keep our keep working, you know, with this Mars Saturn trine going on. Even though it may be frustrating, it may seem again like no matter what we do, like it's just not working, not making progress, not getting ahead. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Okay, this is this emotional resilience, the ability to keep going when the going gets tough. Okay, so we're keeping that in mind, and we are not allowing ourselves to be victimized by whatever this energy could be trying to tell us that we are not. Okay, so things could seem more critical, they could seem more burdensome or heavy or dysfunctional or limiting, judgmental overall all week. This is because of that Mercury Saturn conjunction in the sign of Pisces. Weakness, vulnerability, negative thinking can come with this. Again, just this more narrow-minded focus on what isn't working. It can feel very like overwhelming and heavy energy as well. This can also indicate communication failures, communication breakdowns, like not being able to get a signal through, dropped calls, pressure and things wearing us down, weight of the world on your shoulders type of situation. This could also be the common vibe right now, dampening our spirits with all of this Pisces energy that we are moving into. The glass is probably looking a bit less than half empty this week, but it's not. That's just the illusion. And it's like the angle that we're looking at it. It really is like Pisces energy really can be a lot like an optical illusion. It's like from the perspective and from where we're standing right now with this Saturn and Pisces energy that is conjuncting all these personal planets over the course of this Pisces season. It's like from the angle that we're standing and how we are viewing that glass, it looks like it maybe is pushing a quarter of the way full. But if for whatever reason, it's just more of an optical illusion, the real thing. And like when the energy shifts, aka when we like change our perspective and when we are looking at the glass from a different angle, like when we move, we realize, oh, it was never that empty. Like it was always a good, 3/4 to all the way full. It was literally just because of the way the light was bouncing off the glass and creating an optical illusion that made me perceive it as this much full. And as a result of that, I thought that I was always going to be thirsty and that I would never quench my thirst. But now that I realized that it was just the way that I was seeing things because of where I was standing and how things were appearing to me from that angle and that perspective in that moment, now I realize that that was never true in the first place, and I'm going to go get a big gulp of that glass. Okay, so that is honestly a good, I would say, kind of like analogy for what this energy does or may be doing and how and why it may be skewing our perspective on things. Like it may feel and seem realer than real that everything is just stacked against us or not working out right now. But that, again, it is just because of the particular band of frequency that is being reflected back to us for one reason or another because of the way that this energy is set up. And when things shift and change, we're going to stop seeing things the way that we see things, or that perhaps we are seeing things now because like the whole energy field is going to be interacting with us differently, and therefore we're going to gain a different perception and understanding of that same exact thing that we were looking at from that other angle and that looked so bleak, so things could seem a lot more abundant, a lot more productive in a couple of weeks once we get through this energy. So that is why I'm saying, despite how it may feel, despite how it may seem, how it may appear, how things may be actually happening, for some reason, it's not going to feel, look, be the same once we get through this Saturn conjunction energy. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it, you guys. Peaks and valleys. If we feel like we're going through a bit of a dip right now, it only means that a rise is going to follow. So it might be setbacks, limitations, blocks, this burning motivation or desire to expand, to grow, to get something moving, to move forward, to get the job done. And it just may not be working out, but this too shall pass. It is not a reflection of the nature of your character. Just, as I said earlier, we just need to keep putting one foot in front of the other and trust the process that is underway right now. So I wrote, you are not a reflection of what this energy suggests, rather it is part of your evolving journey. So there's that. And now let's talk about Thursday for a minute. As we move into Thursday, the moon does enter the sign of Pisces. It does set us up, therefore, for our new moon in Pisces. And as I told you guys earlier, that new moon actually technically is occurring on the 28th, but it's happening like really early in the day on the 28th. So the new moon energy is actually coming in on the 27th from Eastern Standard Time perspective. Now, again, this is going to be another new moon energy, and like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because we're going to have a whole video that comes out about this next, but it is in a square to Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. It is in the sign of Pisces. It's not in a tight conjunction to Saturn, but Saturn is like 10 degrees out, and the sun and the moon are both moving towards conjunction with Saturn over this next, the moon couple of days, sun several days, and the square to Jupiter in Gemini. Again, Jupiter is the expansive force, right? This is about growth. This is about success. This is about truth also. And, you know, there could again be, as we're moving through this next couple weeks, frustrations as a result of not being able to get things working, get things off the ground, grow, expand, move forward, learn something, release something, disclose something. Like, we could be coming up against more of these blocks and restrictions and like an inability to just make it happen for some reason. Also, because we're dealing with the Pisces Gemini square going on, what do I need to get rid of? What do I need to let go of? What needs to be cleansed, purified, washed away, released in order so that this other thing that I want to grow and expand that is facing these limitations can actually work? So confusion, perhaps, things not making sense, frustrations, limitations to growth and expansion, because it's kind of just like nothing will hold itself together in this energy. And we'll talk much more about this. We'll get into significantly more depth in the next video. But energy opening the day on Thursday, you guys, it could be kind of just like tired, over it, out of it, not feeling like participating, not feeling like dealing with things, generally sort of checked out. I would imagine not an extreme amount of enthusiasm that is accompanying our like mindset as we move into this day. Probably more so like avoidant, escapism, detachment, daydreaming, just like not wanting to be super plugged into the reality, just not wanting to deal with all the issues. Leave me alone. You might find yourself feeling sort of like that on Thursday. Okay. Also miscommunication, communication breakdowns. These could be an issue. Things just not coming together, lost in translation, nobody knows what's going on. Also, things giving in, maybe collapsing, surrendering, like crumbling, falling apart, coming apart at the seams. This would be another indication of the way that this energy is presenting. So on the plus side, it is a very, very highly spiritual time. As I mentioned earlier, it's more so about our ability. I think our like spiritual test in this energy is to be able to believe without seeing, you know, like trust the process without the proof. We actually have, what planet is it? Mercury, I believe, on Wednesday at a materializing medium giving a seance. So, you know, that spiritual connection is quite pronounced, especially in terms of our like intuition, our mind, our ability like to gain maybe spiritual insight. Messages from the divine could be coming through somehow in a more maybe significant way in the energy of Wednesday. Now, along that same regard, in the context of the highly spiritual energy and perhaps the need to cultivate our ability to like believe without necessarily like seeing as we move through this period of time, and maybe like the spiritual test type of situations that like that may present, we also happen to be moving through a 13-day Trecena in the Mayan calendar. You guys know I've been doing these Mayan astrology videos in the shorts section of my channel, kind of just like following along with the token as it unfolds through time. And we are moving through a one Akbal light pulse right now. Each 13-day period of time, of course, it starts with 1, ends with 13. We're like always constantly like in this upward spiral as we go through that energetic climb that leads us back again to the 1, and we restart the process. But each of those 13-day segments in the Mayan token is called a Trecena, and the light pulse that is present with the 1 associated with that energy wave is kind of like a defining factor of that entire 13-day period. And as I mentioned, right now we are moving through the Trecena of 1 Akbal. Akbal is known as the night or the darkness in the Mayan token calendar. So a 13-day period about feeling a bit caught or lost maybe in the darkness or in the shadows, and needing to find security with ourselves, to trust the process, to, you know, be able to maintain our faith or maintain our belief in where this is taking us, despite maybe not being able to like actually see what's really happening. There is something that we are not able to perceive for what it truly is as we move through this period of time. But what we learn through that process of working through this energy is going to end up being, you know, something very valuable when we come out the other side. So there's a lot of different energetic cues sort of going on out there right now that, to me, when we add them all together and connect all the dots and see all the ways that various things are presenting, are kind of like settling back on this same point that things are not what they seem. There's a very kind of like illusory, unreal, otherworldly dimension to things right now. In the tarot, you know, the moon card, the knight, that's about the mystery. That's about things that have been hidden. We could also be interfacing or finding or coming into contact with things that have been secretive, things that have been hidden, things that have been obscured that we're suddenly gaining some type of an awareness of, that is having some type of very like transitional impact on us somehow. But that is the flow of things, you guys. This is also has a lot to do with endings and beginnings. Pisces season, all these planets in Pisces stelliums. Pisces is a 12th sign of the zodiac. This is about the end. This is where we disconnect, reconnect to the, you know, larger spiritual universe, force, cosmic energy, God, and prepare to start something new, to be born again, to, you know, and that's where Aries comes in, when we experience this spark of life again, like ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, dips and rises, okay? So that's the nature of things right now, and it is this watery energy, which is all about the flow of things, okay? So very spiritual, yes, very, very creative energy also. That's another thing that I've been talking about. Don't like neglect to use this energy for the positive capacities just because we're kind of feeling like, you know, maybe it's a waste of our time in this energy, because you really could be feeling like that as well. Keep pushing, keep moving forward. This also, I mean, water energy traditionally is about receptivity, and it's this feminine energy, and it's about surrender, and it's about flow, and it's about letting things go, and it's not about this sense of like assertion. But we're also talking about a Mars station in Cancer and the trine to Saturn, which, you know, if you guys have been following along, I've been talking about how, to me, Mars and Saturn in a trine always indicates a master builder energy. In water signs, this is a really profound ability to manifest through the mind's eye, translated into the physical plane. So yes, things are crumbling. They're like dissolving. It could feel like quicksand under our feet, like the waves coming through and just washing the sand out while we're standing there. We thought we were on solid ground, come to find out, oh no, everything is actually sinking and crumbling. But also we have a very profound aptitude right now to like solve problems, figure things out, make corrections, let things go that have been acting perhaps as some type of blockage to our ability to move forward somehow, or to just persevere, endure, and gain whatever spiritual strength or wisdom or skill is going to show itself on the back end of what we are going through now. Okay, so there is value to be gained through all of these experiences, even if it is definitely not apparent to us right now. So don't lose hope, you guys. Don't lose faith. We are in a period of mass correction right now. We are literally going through a shift of ages, and again, there's ebbs and flows to everything. One last note about this energy. I actually probably should have said this about the energy of last week as well, but just the way that this is setting up, Mars stationing, trining, the planets coming into a conjunction with Saturn and Pisces right now, there could be like more health issues going on, illness, sickness, infection, virus spreading. Mars rules infection, fevers and stuff like that, and also the spread of things. Planets in Pisces also has to do with well, it does rule like illnesses and viruses and stuff like that, and it can lower our immunity, like lower our vitality, lower our immune responses and stuff. And with Saturn there, of course, that's also this like repressive force that could just I don't know, be depleting health on some level, repressing maybe like immune functions to some extent. More people could just be getting sick right now. So that's also something perhaps of note or to keep in mind as we move through this energy. And again, that is also something that will pass as this energy passes. So it's not something we need to be like panicked about, but it's just something that could be showing itself, people more susceptible to illness generally as we move through this week, maybe last week as well, and this upcoming next couple of weeks of Pisces season. So that's really what I have to say, you guys. It's funny because really the kind of whole theme right now is about this desire to move forward, right? Mars direct, this new moon and square to Jupiter that's about to come in, but also just not being able to make it happen. And we literally have 2 degrees, the sun and the earth, at 9 degrees of Pisces and Virgo on Wednesday that are very clearly talking about wanting to get ahead and focusing on the future and what could be, while perhaps just finding ourselves a bit maybe discouraged because things aren't taking off. We have the sun at 9 Pisces. The race begins, intent on outdistancing his rivals. A jockey spurs his horse to great speeds. And we have the earth at 9 degrees of Virgo, an expressionist painter making futuristic drawings. And then, like I said, we also have Mercury at 23 Pisces, a materializing medium giving a seance. So we do have spiritual assistance, you guys. We are focused on the future. We are gonna get there, but we just got to make it through this next couple of weeks. So that's what I have to say about the astrology, you guys. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. It is literally saying the exact same thing as I feel like the astrology is saying. Look at this. Look at this. These are the 3 cards that came out. The 8 of Wands in reverse. Okay, the 8 of Wands is about like things happening quickly. It's about like sudden movement, sudden motion, things going from point A to point B, like communication coming quickly, like things moving forward, things happening, action happening that is like in a certain forward movement direction. And then but it comes out in reverse. So that obviously means blockages. Things are not moving forward. We are not receiving the information. The transaction is not going through. Things do not have the appearance of what? The Empress in the 10 of Pentacles. Being able to be successfully cultivated or created or established. It's like we have the goal, we have the vision, we know what we want to do, we know what we want to create, you know, we know what the ultimate goal or the ultimate outcome is, but it seems like things are just not moving forward. There are blockages, there is restraint, there is limitation, there is delays, okay? Delayed progress, delayed success, delayed abundance, delayed growth. It's there. And that's another thing when I'm saying, like, it's not that it's not there. Look at these 2 beautiful cards that we have upright. We have the Empress and the 10 of Pentacles. That's like being able to create like material success and abundance and fertility and stability based on our pursuits, based on, you know, we've got this one action, what we're doing. It's there. It's just delayed. Okay, so we're going to call it delayed progress. We're going to call it just a lesson in patience and perseverance and endurance. We're going to go with that. We know it's coming. We know it's growing. We know it's on the way. It just perhaps hasn't or is going to need a little bit more time to make its way to us. On the back of the deck also, it's so funny. We had the, look at this. We've got the King of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Death card, okay? This to me is just like extremely speaking about this Piscean energy with Saturn in the sign of Pisces, and the Death card, transformation. The way that things have been, the established order, the rule of law, the spiritual authority, the belief systems that have structured our perception of reality, we are at a very transitional point. This is another thing that I've been talking about. The old ways need to go in some way, on some level, in some capacity, in order so that this progress can actually take place. It's like, as long as we are operating under the pillars of the old emotional, like our old belief systems, or the old emotional viewpoints and perspectives on things, or the old leadership, also the old authority, as long as that like maintains and perseveres, it's like whatever we are trying to move forward or grow or make blossom and bloom right now just isn't going to happen. Again, it's making me feel like, you know, this give or take. We've got transformation that is required in terms of essentially like the foundations and the systems and the like just established order, the established structure, the established flow of things. This could also have to do with authority figures or certain narratives and stuff like that as well that kind of been king. I don't know, but this is definitely talking about some type of major transformation that is underway in terms of the power structure, or just the systems of control or beliefs, or there needs to be something like the old ways, the old order is going through a transformation right now, and perhaps that is what we're waiting on in order for this to be able to actually move forward in the way that's going to lead to that Empress and that Ten of Pentacles, that like true abundance and growth that is possible. But like there's something about an old energy, and it makes sense, right? Because we are transitioning out of the age of Aquarius. Talk about everything in terms of, and Pluto is now in the sign of Aquarius, like everything in terms of the way that power dynamics have been established and what has been energetically supported is changing right now as we are moving out of the Pluto Capricorn energy into the Pluto Aquarius energy. Everything is decentralizing. The way that things have been structured in the past that led to that growth and abundance and success, it's not that way anymore. So there could be just some major foundational changes to things that need to take place in order so that whatever it is that we are trying to build, grow, develop, create, moving forward into this new energy has an opportunity to actually grow correctly, and in alignment with what it's meant to become, as opposed to being caught in maybe some of these limitations that were represented from just the old paradigm, the old energy, the old order, and like how things used to work. So we could be waiting on stuff that we don't even realize that we're waiting on. These pauses, this drawback, this dip could actually ultimately be for some reason like necessary and functional and serving a purpose that we just can't ascertain right now for whatever reason. But one thing is clear based on that reading, that there is a something is in the process of transformation right now that has been foundational in the past, and it's got to happen in order for like whatever forward momentum we want to take place to be able to actually happen in the best way moving forward. That's what I gotta say about the tarot, you guys. We're gonna get one more card now. This is a synchronicity card. We're gonna ask for a piece of guidance or advice. God, Spirit, Universe, what do we need to know? What should we keep in mind? What should we tell ourselves as we move forward through the rest of this week towards our new moon in Pisces that is coming up next? There's our card. And our guidance is, you will be guided, which makes sense with that Mercury Pisces energy. The materializing medium giving a seance. As I was saying, spiritual guidance is available for us in abundance right now if we can kind of like get out of our own like false sense maybe of depression or victimhood or vulnerability, and just trust the process. Okay, you will be guided, sent his angel to show the things which must shortly be done. Revelation 22:6. Shortly you will be shown the direction you should take. The way will open up for you to move forward. Seize the opportunity that comes to you. Know you are being divinely guided. Listen to the voice within. So even this is saying, you guys, like, shortly you will know which direction to take. The way will open up for you and you will be able to move forward. But it does not say right now you are going to be shown the direction you should take right now. Things are wide open for you to move forward. So even the synchronicity card is indicating that perhaps we may be in a bit of a pause. Okay, again, it's like that in breath, but it's going to come back out again. Things are going to fill back up, and shortly you will be shown the direction you should take. The way will open up for you to move forward. Seize the opportunity that comes to you. Know you are being divinely guided. Listen to the voice within for guidance. If there's one thing that we can be sure of right now, you guys, if everything else seems like it's just not holding itself together, people, places, situations, the spiritual connection and our ability to like tune into our own intuitive guidance is probably our strongest asset right now. So that's what I have to say about that. You will be guided. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope that was something in there that was helpful or entertaining for you in some way. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, you guys. I really appreciate knowing what's going on with you out there. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. That is very valuable information to me. Thank you guys again so much for being here. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group linked in my description box below. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. We are going to have, of course, our new moon and Pisces video out. I will be back to talk all about it. You don't want to miss that one. It's going to give us some insight into the whole upcoming Pisces cycle and month ahead. So come back with me. I will see you then. Have a beautiful midpoint to your week this week, you guys. And until next time, bye.